Hi guys, it's Claire and welcome to another video tutorial with me. In today's video, we are going to be doing a mini composition. It's going to include a fruit and a couple of little loose flowers. And what we're going to do is I will just show you how to do the mini composition, and then from there I would love it if you can just replicate that and make it into a wreath. Alright, so we're going to start off with me telling you what brushes we're using. So for my brushes, I am using, I'm going to keep all these three handy. They're all number 8s. One by Silver Black Velvet, one by Princeton, and then the other one by Zen Art Supplies. I am also going to keep a smaller brush handy. So either if you have a number 2 or a number 4. I can only find my number 2 by Escoda right now, so I'm just going to put that aside and keep that handy. And for colors, I am using a jumble of different colors right now. So I will be using some of the greens from the Rainforest palette by KMS Watercolor. I am also going to be using 2 of these blue metallic colors, again by KMS. And then last but not least, I am using some colors from my favorite and trusted White Knights. I'll tell you what the colors are as we start painting. And so let me put this down and get ready to begin. And for paper, we're using the Legion Stonehenge 300 GSM. So I'm going to start mixing some colors right now. The first color I want to mix is, because it's 2 colors, I want to mix some of my Titan Red, and I am going to get some of this color right here, Metallic Leo, and we're going to do a combination of these 2 colors to paint very loose and pretty tangerines. And I'm going to try the super simple way, and I hope it'll be fun for a lot of you as well. And you'll see exactly why, because I've never really done this technique. I've not done this method in any of my videos previously, and so this will be a new thing. So I'm just activating some of this Leo, getting it ready on my number 8 Silver Black Velvet, and then we're going to start. Okay, so taking the Titan Red that I have mixed on my Princeton number 8, I am going to do the following. We're going to press down and twirl the brush around to create a nice circle for our first tangerine. In fact, you know what? Before we begin, let me just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. Alright, so just make sure, one thing that you need to do is to ensure that you've got enough water on your brush, because when we do this motion, it needs to be nice and damp for us to be able to get that nice circle, okay? So here we go. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to start creating one over here, and I'm just pressing down, and then I'm twirling my brush. Okay, I clearly need more water, so dipping the tip of my brush in water, twirling around, and that's okay if you get a little bit of that, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're just going to go around and create a round little circle around it. And then at the top, what I want to do is just make the circle go a little bit above, so we have that white space in between. And you're going to see exactly why we're doing that in a moment. Then the next thing I want to do right away is get some of my nice glitter and add that in there. And I just want to add it maybe on the right side. You can just pick whichever side you want to. Literally, this is just to give us a nice mixture of this glitter happening in there, okay? So while we still have this going on, our brushes are still activated, we're going to go ahead and create the next one, or actually we could just leave it as 1, because I did say I'm just going to show you guys how to do the 1 and then we'll move on to the next. So yeah, let's just leave it to the 1. And now we are switching to get the, let's get the ZenART brush, and I'm going to get this color right here. I'm going to get this beautiful green from the Rainforest collection. and it's called the Canopy Leaves. I'm just going to mix it in with some of the vine green. And we're just going to go ahead and create like a little bit of a curve here. I'm using green instead of like a brown or black. And then I'm just doing a leaf. Like a loose looking leaf here. Okay, so there's our tangerine. Super simple, super easy. And now we're going to go right into the flowers. For the flowers, I'm going to wash off my Silver Black Velvet number 8. And I am using the Quin Rose, which is right here. And we're going to mix some of that onto this palette here. And I'm going to get a nice watered down version of this to create my florals. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and use the fact that this area is still damp, and we're just going to create light strokes to indicate petals. And you can kind of curve around so it looks like there's like white space in between each petal. Again, let's create, I'm going to dip the tip of my brush in water and create another flower over here. And again, we're making these very loose, allowing it to kind of blend into our orange there. And notice how I am just like lightly adding these strokes to kind of indicate flowers, thicks and thins, and kind of doing lighter strokes around to kind of encompass these petals, right? Let's do a couple of these up here. I want these flowers to be small, so this one's a little bit big, so just make sure that you've got tinier flowers happening. Okay, and if there's too much water pooling, just take your paper towel and you can just lightly dab in certain areas. Okay, so now right away what I want to do is get some lemon, to add some lemon into the center of these flowers. Actually, before the lemon, we're going to get some of the passion flower, and we're just going to darken the centers of these flowers just a tad. And so I'm just going to dot this color right away in the center of these flowers here, and immediately it's giving us that beautiful blend, if you can see that. I'm going to add a little bit of strokes around these petals too, so it kind of, you can see some of that color in and around the flower. Now the darker the color, which is why I'm getting the color directly from the color cake, the nicer contrast you will get for the centers of these flowers. So just make sure you got a nice dark hue of your purple before you go and add it to these flowers, okay? We didn't do this one here, so let me just do that really quickly. These are super simple. Okay, so that's great. So now we want to do, actually while I have a little bit of that color on here, I just want to add some, like a lighter fading off kind of flower. It needs to be a tad bit lighter, just so it looks like we're feathering. And if y'all have watched any of my other videos and Sunday lives, you would know about feathering. I talk about it all the time. I like to kind of have a nice fade off different hues or different shades, sorry, not shades, different opacities for the flower, so then it kind of really adds some nice dimension to our painting. I should have left that splatter as is. Alright, so now we're going to add some of the lemon into our centers. For the lemon, I'm going to get some of the color yellow. And again, we are just going to go ahead and add that into the center of these flowers. pretty much like how we did the purple, and I'm just adding it, dabbing a little bit here and there. Some might still be damp, in which case, some flowers might still be damp, in which case you'll see that blend. And others that aren't, that's okay. Just get whatever you can, because remember, this style of painting, guys, is not so much so about perfecting the flower or perfecting the petals or the centers. It's more about having that nice mishmash of color and creating something amazing to look at. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and add some greenery to this. So for greenery, I really like this color Canopy Leaves, and that's what we are going to be using. And so I'm sticking with my silver black velvet. Just going to get this activated really quickly, and then we're going to start our leaves. So for the leaves, I'm going to do something. I just want to make sure that the tip of my brush is pretty good. Great. For the leaves, we're going to just add a couple of strokes in between these flowers, so it looks like we've got some nice greenery extending and blending into these petals and florals. And then immediately we're going to go ahead and create some nice leaves. So if you've watched any of my leaf videos, the loose leaf videos, that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. I'm just doing a couple of strokes here and there. Light strokes. I want it to be fine and, what's the word? Delicate. And so where I want the feathering and lighter leaves, I'm just making sure that I get a lighter color to kind of on my brush, so that when I put it down, it doesn't look super intense. And try and leave some white space in between the leaf and the flower if you can, or even in between the leaves. So like if you're doing the 2-stroke leaves, then you know, leave a little bit of white space in between, kind of like that. Okay. So I'm gonna just keep on dipping in water just to get like a lighter green. And so you can have these nice variations of green in your painting, and it'll look super pretty because it makes it look full, and the nice colors really do add something pretty, right? So that's pretty much the whole idea. Now we're going to use this concept and create this round wreath. But if you like how this looks as is, you can even end it off right this way, and you've got a nice pretty image and painting. Actually, one thing I want to do really quickly, and I think that might be nice, is if we just add a little bit of this vine green into some of these areas here. And it's just giving us a blend of color right away into the green, because the green is still damp. And so I'm just adding a couple of strokes in the areas where we have our green leaves, and you can see the immediate blend that it is doing because it is still damp. That's pretty much why. Oh, as I am doing this, I just realized we have one more item to add to this, and then we are finished. And that is the blue that I had promised you guys that we're going to be using in this. So let's just get ready for the blue, and then we can continue on. Okay, so I got a little bit of the Capricorn and Aquarius blue on my brush. I kind of activated both of them, and I have it ready on the brush. And again, I'm using the Silver Black Velvet 8. You could use your number 2 or your number 4 for this, but I really like how the tip works, and I think this should suffice for what we're doing. So we're just going to go ahead and use this. Or I'm going to go ahead and use this. So here's what we're doing. We are creating little round blueberry type elements. So you can do 2, and then the rest you can kind of just dot or splatter, I guess. It's up to you. So something delicate and easy like that. You're just doing like 2 little arcs to create the the blueberries. They don't really need to extend into, what's the word? Into any branches or stems. Stems is the word. I'm just going to get a little bit of water on my brush and just kind of sporadically place them around. And make sure you've got white space in between. The white space is always, always, always helpful. And you can even insert them in between the flowers. And then that way it doesn't look too random. Okay, perfect. So you see how the darker blue just makes things pop some more. It's quite pretty. And in fact, the orange too, it is a lot brighter in person as opposed to on screen. And I'll do a close-up of that so you guys can see this. But this is essentially the whole idea and the whole composition. Now run with what I've given you in terms of color and the painting idea, and then just make it a nice pretty wreath. So looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I'm going to go ahead and make this a time lapse so you can see what my end result is. But feel free to hit that like button if you like this, if you learned something new. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. I do a lot of videos like this, and I would love to see your work. If you do end up doing this, please do tag me on Instagram or on Facebook. My handles are listed below. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will chat soon. Bye!